The book Behold, He Prayeth by Pastor Enoch Adejare Adeboye is a profound exposition on the power, essence, and necessity of prayer in the life of a believer, drawing from the biblical account of Saul's conversion, Acts 9:11. Where God testifies of Saul, behold, he prayeth. Pastor Adeboye builds a compelling case for why a transformed life must be a prayerful one. He teaches that true conversion and spiritual strength are evident in a life characterized by consistent and sincere prayer. Major themes and insights. 1. Prayer as the evidence of transformation. The phrase, behold, he prayeth, was God's own testimony about Saul, later known as Paul, immediately after his encounter with Jesus. True spiritual transformation is not marked merely by external changes, but by an inward passion and commitment to communing with God. Prayer becomes the first fruit of conversion and an ongoing sign of intimacy with God. 2. The importance of being a man or woman of prayer. Prayer is not optional for a Christian. It is essential. It is the means by which believers access divine direction, spiritual empowerment, and protection. Pastor Adeboye emphasizes that greatness in the kingdom is impossible without a strong prayer life. 3. God recognizes praying people. When Saul began to pray, God noticed and informed Ananias, behold, he prayeth. Heaven takes note of praying people. A life of prayer attracts divine attention and favor. Prayer distinguishes one in the spiritual realm and grants access to divine mysteries. 4. The transforming power of prayer. Prayer not only changes situations, but also changes the person who prays. Saul moved from being a persecutor to becoming a preacher through the power of prayer and submission. Pastor Adeboye encourages believers to persist in prayer, even when immediate results are not visible, because God works in and through prayer. 5. Barriers to effective prayer. Unforgiveness, sin, pride, and distractions can hinder one's prayer life. Pastor Adeboye outlines that for prayer to be effective, the heart must be right with God. Prayer must be made in faith, humility, and righteousness. 6. The lifestyle of prayer. Prayer should not be a one-time act or emergency tool, but a lifestyle. Pastor Adeboye teaches the importance of praying without ceasing. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Every aspect of a believer's life, personal, family, ministry, and career, must be rooted in prayer. 7. God answers prayers. Using biblical examples, Pastor Adeboye shows that God is a prayer-answering God. Even when the answer seems delayed, God always responds in His perfect time and will. Testimonies of answered prayers abound as encouragement to persevere. Key lessons and practical takeaways. Prayer is a response to God's grace. After Saul encountered Jesus, his immediate response was to pray. Likewise, a true encounter with God leads to a prayerful life. Heavenly endorsement is tied to a life of prayer. God was willing to entrust Saul with great assignments because he prayeth. Prayer builds intimacy. Through prayer, believers grow in the knowledge of God and become more sensitive to His voice and guidance. Do not wait for a crisis to pray. Make prayer a daily discipline rather than a last resort. Transformation is sustained through prayer. Just as Saul's spiritual journey began with prayer, it was sustained by a continuous life of devotion. Conclusion. Behold, He Prayeth is both a wake-up call and an encouragement to believers. Pastor Adeboye makes it clear that prayer is more than just a religious duty. It is the heartbeat of a living relationship with God. This book emphasizes that anyone who desires to fulfill divine purpose must be a man or woman of prayer. Just as Saul's life changed dramatically through an encounter with Jesus and was marked by prayer, every believer is challenged to embrace prayer as the key to transformation, power, and divine intimacy. For more insightful and faith-lifting audiobooks, do well to like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching and listening to us today.